Hello, travel agents, and welcome back to Travel Agent Tips. Being a professional and successful travel advisor is all about the personalized service and value and the support that you provide for your clients. It's what sets you apart from competitors and online booking agencies. But what do you do when the vacation doesn't go as planned? Or when your client isn't satisfied with their overall experience? We're here to share our tips for handling travel complaints and difficult clients professionally. The first step is to prepare your clients for the common pitfalls in travel. What could be some of the issues that happen? I spend more time speaking to my clients about what could go wrong than all of the good stuff. Flight delays, misconnections, resort expectations. Don't oversell a resort to your customer. Make sure you're talking about all the potential pitfalls that could happen. Sargassum is one of them, right? All the seaweed that's going on out there could be piled up on the beach, 3 and 4 feet deep. It's kind of miserable, but we need to talk to them about that. Is there a limited staff? Is it during an on-peak time when the staff's not all there? Accessibility outside of the US. Not every country is like the US where we have full accessibility sidewalks. There's brick in Rome that's thousands of years old. There's so many things that can impact their perception of the trip. You need to go over those things with them. Review the supplier policies or the cancellation policies, delays and refund situations as well, right? That's the idea, right? You've got your terms and conditions, potentially and hopefully. What's the supplier's terms and conditions? And how many suppliers are involved in this? Is it flights to a hotel that's before the cruise? Is it a tour company? Is it an all-inclusive and that's it? All of those different elements are part of the trip that we need to go over with them and set the expectation. In particular, what could go wrong? Talk about the long waits at theme parks, right? Talk about the long waits at Disney World, Universal, St. Peter's Square. What does all of that look like? And certain tourist attractions. Make sure that they understand that. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to peak time of travel. There's going to be longer waits, bigger crowds, right? We've got customs at the airport on the return. You've got TSA on the outbound. Over-tourism is a thing that's going on right now, so we need to talk to them about what that looks like. Stay informed on travel advisories and local conditions. Now, all of this boils down to what type of travel advisor do you want to be, or what type of travel agent can you be? I think that that's where the important element comes in, right? How far are you going to take all of these elements? What are you going to know? What are you limited not to know? And be very transparent with them about the things that you don't know and that they need to research on their own. Set those expectations early to reduce the issues and adjust the itinerary if it needs to be adjusted. We've spoke about the pitfalls, right? Some of the negative things that could happen during travel. How do we speak about preparing them so that it might not happen or so that you're covering yourself in case it does happen? The first step is to go over those documents with your client just prior to travel. From the booking time till the travel time, they forgot what you spoke about originally. So you're going to want to go over every single thing you can prior to them traveling. And we don't want to do it a few weeks in advance. We want to do it a few days in advance, depending on your customer's needs. Provide the helpful documentation for your clients to educate themselves. I'm so glad that this is in here because we need to make sure that they're investing their time into the trip as well. They have to have skin in the game. You just can't tell them everything. And if they don't know something, they're just going to call you or text you. Provide all the information so that they're invested in the trip. It's very, very important. Make sure they know all of those elements before they go. What does the packing list look like? You can provide all this via email. It doesn't have to be something that's talked about too in depth, but refer back to it so that you know that you can tell them, by the way, we spoke about this before you went, in case there's an issue at the end. Go over that trip summary again, and then the key contacts. Key contacts could be those that you know that they can reach in destination for something that they may need help with. For instance, if there's a transfer in Europe, they've got a phone number to contact the local company and find out exactly what time they're supposed to meet or where they're supposed to meet. Include supplier and emergency contact numbers, right? Look, we're in a world where we don't know what could happen. I can give you an example of what just happened to one of our clients today. Literally, we got a call from a daughter of an older couple who's on a cruise. They're in Canada. Something happened. She called frantic saying they might have to life flight their father home. Ultimately, it didn't turn out to be that way. He was treated at the local hospital. He's back on board, but we had to be in contact. We had to know what was going on so that we can help them if they needed to get home. But we also provided them with that contact information. Now, ironically, this daughter didn't know very much about the trip, so she didn't have the information. The travelers did. We need to make sure that they provide the information for their family when they're traveling. Provide the FAQs on travel insurance, right? We're not there to sell travel insurance. We're there to provide a travel insurance link with the information so that they can book their own travel insurance or tell us that that's exactly what they want, right? So we have to be careful when it comes to travel insurance. If your client gets the travel insurance, recommend that they download the app just so that they have all the information while they're traveling, and it helps with the claim process if they need to file a claim on the way back or when they get back. If a client declines insurance, make sure that we get that in writing. So ironic, on that same trip today, we looked through the notes, we have the date that they declined the travel insurance. So just in case there was an issue that said, you never offered me insurance, we had a printout of the insurance policy that we sent them and the date that they declined it. So that's very important information. And then what's the biggest issue? The travel documentation. Do they need a passport? Do they need a passport card? Do they need the real ID? What are some of the things they need in order to travel? And is the passport valid? Is it valid for 6 months after the scheduled return date? These are critical issues that you have to go over with them. I know it seems like it may be ad nauseum, but if the customer knows that you care about these things, they need to care about these things as well. So when it comes to your contract and agreements, you need to cover yourself from any legal liability and help set the standards for what they can and should expect from you. That's going to be in your terms and conditions. Do you have your own set of terms and conditions, or are you using the supplier terms and conditions? And then, of course, when are you available? Are you letting them know that you're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? I tend to be that type of travel advisor. Hey, call me or text me if you need me desperately. Or are you going to set the limits and say, I'm only available during these times? Which type of travel advisor do you want to be? Now that we've walked you through all the ways we suggest to prevent these issues, there still could be lingering problems, right? And the customer wants to reach out to you. We need to lead with empathy and compassion. Let them know you understand their frustrations and how important their trip is to them. Let them share the full story before responding. Now that could be daunting because it could be paragraphs of information, but it's important that we read through it, read between the lines on all that, and we respond properly. For instance, today we got an email from a customer who was double booked on a transfer. We offered the transfers, they were included in the package. They didn't exactly know that. They paid for their own transfer. When they arrived at the airport, they got on our transfer, and they were very upset because they had already prepaid for their transfer. We're going back and refunding the money. We're just going to take the responsibility and refund that money. You have to be prepared for what that looks like and make sure to have empathy in that response. When clients are expressing an issue during travel, be sure to empower them to fix the issue. Be calm and clear about what you can and cannot help with. Here's for an instance. What I tell my customers quite often is, listen, don't call me if your bed is not made. Call me if you don't have a bed. You want to empower them to fix it themselves. Go to the front desk, get your bed made. Take care of the air conditioning in my room, whatever the case is. My room's too noisy. Can you move me? These are not reasons to call you back. They're reasons to empower them to do it while they're there. But if it's something that they cannot take care of, or there isn't even a room available for some reason, they need to get a hold of you. You've got to get a hold of the supplier or the resort directly. And don't forget, when they reach out to you, they could just be looking for support and they're not sure how to resolve it. I'll never forget the time I got a call from a bride from the local area that we serve. She went down to the resort and she kept calling us that she was so unhappy. Things were miserable. We reached out to the manager, spoke to him. He went down to the room. I think that bride was just tense because she had just left her son after the wedding and there was so much going on in her mind. By the next day, I called her in the morning. She was perfectly good to go. So it was just that idea of walking them off the ledge a little bit. And sometimes we have to do that as well. Make sure you understand the difference. Do what you can to resolve the problem. Just help them out a little bit. Work first with your supplier contact or the resort, or the cruise line, or the tour operator, whoever it happens to be. And then if it needs escalation, then you can take it to your business development manager so that they can put you onto the right person who's going to handle it with the tour company or the cruise line. And of course, at KHM, we're very fortunate to have a compliance and resolution team who could help with that process as well. But be sure to document the situation yourself. Write down who you spoke to, the times that you spoke to them. Even put it in writing and send it to them via email. Get their email address or their phone number. And then follow up after the resolution. A quick check-in shows that you care. So what happens when the client gets back and then expresses concerns, right? Tells you all about the issues that they had. Take a breath before responding. Again, you want to be empathetic, but not emotional or defensive. Like, why didn't you tell me earlier? I can't control that. We don't want to have those types of conversations, right? We want to listen, help them take care of the situation, and respond properly. So that will earn you loyalty, right? When we take care of the situation, just like I told you, I took care of that situation today with that customer, they're going to remain loyal to us because we quickly handled the issue, even if things don't go as planned, which obviously happened in this situation. Having trouble keeping it calm and professional? Try working with AI. It could tell you or edit a reply. So take a look at that, put it in an AI, take a deep breath, send it off after that. And encourage your clients to call you or meet up in person to talk through the issues. I like that best. Sometimes when they meet in person, it's completely calm them down and you can talk through the issues. And refer to your contract and documentation, right? You're not just taking the blame. We don't take the blame for things. We refer to that documentation that we had and make sure that they understand, sorry, I'm not going to just take the blame for this. I'm going to start to look at ways to resolve this for you, but we're going to look at everything that we agreed to originally. Then here's the ultimate situation. If you get a bad review, how do you handle it, right? On Google or somehow online, Facebook, whatever the case is, if you get a bad review on social media, you want to avoid the back and forth, right? One response is going to be sufficient, but letting them know that you're willing to speak to them again, or let's set up a time to meet. It can be a chance to show other clients and future clients how you respond to negative situations. Here's a great example. A few years ago, there was a hurricane. We had people who were supposed to go on a cruise. The cruise got canceled. The cruise line had their money and didn't refund the money in a proper amount of time. The customer gets mad at me, the travel agent, goes online and says, don't work with that travel agent because they haven't refunded the money. I simply went on and said, unfortunately, we don't have your money. We're fighting on behalf of yourself with the cruise line to get that money back into your account. So that was my reply. And guess what happens? Your regular customers are going to come to your defense. It worked out so well for us because then all of a sudden we noticed all of our regular customers are saying, oh my gosh, we've never had this problem with Bill or his travel agency. So we look at those negative reviews sometimes as an opportunity. I know you're going to feel like it's daunting. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm worried that my business is just going to take a big hit because I'm getting a bad review. Don't always do that. Read between the lines. Understand that most consumers understand who's writing the bad review and reads between the lines about what that is all about. So make sure that you're expressing your reply in there, but again, don't get defensive, don't get argumentative. In the end, ask yourself, is this customer someone I want to continue to work with? Possibly not, but sometimes you've built them and you've rebounded with them and they're going to continue to book through you. So they could be a benefit to you. You've got to make that decision. What does that relationship look like? Thank you everyone for watching. And again, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.